How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Don't Drink That. Today, before we start, I just want to say first, subscribe, like, and share if you enjoy my content. Second of all, I want to give a quick shout out to the small fan base that I have. I am a growing channel, so this is actually something that I really needed to keep pushing. So, my best episode, this is from my Spotify wrap up for 2025, and I've only been doing this since September. So, pardon me. So this is pretty incredible to me. My best episode was my very first episode, my reptilian shapeshifter episode. It got the most listens out of any episode so far. That's not saying a whole lot, but it does mean that there was a lot of hype going into this podcast. My listenership was number one in the US, but I did have listenership in the UK and in Russia, so that was pretty awesome. All listeners have me in their top 10. 90% of my listeners have me in their top 5, and 85% have me as their number one show. My rating is 75% higher than other shows so far in the last 4 months or so. I've received more comments than 78% of other shows. That's not really, I don't really put a lot into that, but I'm just reading off the statistics. Most shared show at 83% more shares than other shows. Now, I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. Being a small channel, all that was exactly what I needed to hear or see. So I want to thank you guys for that. Without further ado, let's get into this short story. It's called Illusions of Superiority, and it goes hand in hand with my latest episode earlier this week. And I hope you guys enjoy that. Victor Mercer adjusted his tie with the precision of a surgeon. The knot had to be exact, tight, symmetrical, commanding. To the average viewer, he was just another political debater. To his followers, he was something sharper, a wolf in a suit, lean and lethal with words. Tonight, the venue was a megachurch in the Midwest, a cavernous structure filled with pews, cameras, and expectant faces. The debate topic, abortion rights. A crowd divided down the center, half waving pro-life signs, the other half clutching banners of choice. The air was electric with fury, the perfect stage for Mercer. Remember, he told himself, control the tempo, own the silence. Let them chase you, never the reverse. Behind the polished confidence, Mercer's mind ticked through north with product hidden under false manifests. Pills, powders, weapons, the arteries of his hidden empire. His speeches were camouflage. His travel schedule doubled as a trafficking route. Only a select few in his circle knew. Most saw him as a mouthpiece, a hired intellectual gun. But Victor Mercer was more than that. He was efficient, invisible, untouchable. At least until the leverage. He burned it, but more came. Photos of him sleeping in hotels booked under aliases. Audio splices from his debates, twisting his words into threats he never uttered. Always accompanied by riddles. How many faces does a man wear before he is faceless? Your flock is not your own. It waits for the wolf. At first, he told himself it was intimidation, a rival's bluff. But deep down, Mercer felt the cold knife of fear. Someone knew his secrets. Someone was watching. He built his empire on control. Now control was slipping. The moderator introduced him. Applause thundered. Mercer walked to the podium, every step deliberate. He fixed his steel gray eyes on his opponent, a nervous academic, and went to work. His words were scalpel cuts, each rebuttal carving the man into silence. He thrived under the spotlight, the roar of the crowd feeding him. For 40 minutes, he was untouchable. Then the shot rang out. The sound cracked like judgment itself. Glass shattered, screams erupted. Mercer felt fire explode in his chest. His knees buckled, blood soaking through his shirt as he hit the stage. Lights blinding, his last conscious image of a figure high in the rafters. Not a sniper hunched with a rifle, but something eerily still, head tilted, watching, and then darkness. Victor should have died. The bullet tore into his chest, but surgeons dug it out. Hours of surgery, days of tubes and sedation. When he finally awoke, the cameras were waiting. Victor Mercer survives assassination attempt, headlines blared. He became a symbol, a martyr of free speech. But in the quiet of his hospital room, another envelope waited. No postage, no fingerprints. Inside, a Black Knight chess piece. And a note. Kings survive, knights hunt. This is not over. Back in his hotel suite, paranoia shadowed his every corner. His phone rang at 3 a.m., a distorted voice reciting scripture twisted into riddles. Graffiti sprayed across his car. Run faster. His debate notes hacked and replaced, predicting every phrase before he spoke. He cut ties with his mistress, rotated hotels, carried 2 guns on each hip. But the predator was always ahead. His network began collapsing. 2 dealers executed, another hanging with a riddle carved into his chest. The loyal pawn dies for the careless king. Victor knew the underworld well enough. This wasn't random. This was orders. Victor leaned on his old trick, old half-truths, plausible deniability. Months ago, he'd given them one name. A city official, a client who paid handsomely for silence. It had saved Victor's family from ruin. But betrayal in the underworld was unforgivable. And now, he suspected, unforgiven. Sleep offered no peace. He dreamt of chessboards stained with blood, of masked figures watching from pews, of riddles whispered by his own daughter's voice. One night he woke gasping, a night piece resting on his chest. Another time a note was pinned to the ceiling above him. He was not safe, not anywhere. His predator wasn't trying to kill him, not yet. The predator wanted him alive, hunted. Mercer's men started dying faster. A safe house torched, a courier found with his throat slit. Riddle inked into his skin. The road bends where the wheel breaks. Mercer realized he wasn't just being stalked. He was being dismantled, piece by piece, empire collapsing around him. But why? Why the riddles, the theatrics? Who hated him this much? The answer came slowly, hidden in the riddles themselves. One phrase haunted him. A pawn raised becomes the king's undoing. He thought of his men, the young ones he'd recruited, molded. He saw faces in his mind. One in particular, Marcus Venn. A kid he'd saved from gutter fights, turned into a trusted lieutenant, loyal, hungry, and sharp. Could it be him? The idea unsettled Mercer. Marcus had been like a son. He doubled his security, 3 ex-special forces guards. In the morning, all 3 were dead. Notes pinned to their vests, armor cracks where doubt seeps. Every city he fled to, the predator was waiting. Graffiti on the walls, messages on mirrors, always one step ahead. Victor's nerves frayed. He stopped eating, stopped shaving. His silver tongue failed him, words dissolving into paranoia. He was unraveling. The riddles became instructions, directions, breadcrumbs, and Victor followed them. Desperate for answers, half believing he could corner his predator, each clue pulled him deeper into abandoned districts, decaying warehouses where he once stored shipments. At last, one note sealed it. The face you feed is the face that eats. It was Marcus. It had to be Marcus. The factory smelled of rust and rot. Shadows dripped from the rafters. And then he was there. Marcus Venn, young, calm, pistol ready in his hand. You raised me for this, Marcus. Marcus said, I'm sorry. Taught me the game, but you forgot one lesson. Pawns don't stay pawns forever. Victor's voice shook for the first time in years. Who paid you? Marcus's eyes were cold. The ones that you rolled on. The ones above them. Government shadows. They wanted you broken, and I wanted you dead. Victor tried bargaining, promised money, promised protection. His words, once weapons, now fell like stones. Marcus only smiled. You were never the king, just a piece on the board. At Victor's feet, written in blood across the concrete floor, was the final riddle. What is a man who speaks with many mouths? Silent. The pistol roared. Victor Mercer fell, blood pooling into the cracks. Marcus walked out into the night. Black SUVs rolled toward the factory, unmarked, deliberate. The true hands behind the game, here to erase the evidence. Marcus didn't look back. He knew the board would reset. New pawns, new games. But for now, his role was finished. Victor Mercer was gone. Debater, trafficker, father, and fraud. And the silence he left behind was deafening. Alright guys, that was Illusions of Superiority, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I apologize if the video is a little choppy. There were points where my mic kept cutting out, like on sound, so I had to go back and re-record certain parts of the story. So I do apologize for that, but I hope you guys enjoy this. It's all about the story. So I do want to say before I get out of here, I haven't forgotten about working on t-shirts. I'm still trying to hit that 1K subs. Got a long way to go, so spread the word. And then this will probably be my new model if this works out good with the algorithm and all those things. This might be the new way I do things for recording. Also, again, like, subscribe, and share so that way we can keep this train rolling. I can keep pumping out videos for you. Once I get enough of a following, I do want to do a Saturday show where I read fan-submitted stories. So for those of you who don't have my email yet, I'm going to put that in the link below in this video. So I love you guys. Have fun. Stay safe. And don't drink that.